Hello, hi. You can tell we are going into a retrograde shortly, which is in this month if you didn't know. We're going into a retrograde on the 17th of February, and that can mean a lot of things, but it can also mean it messes with, with technology because you guys are my first video that I'm attempting to do, and this is like the third take because halfway through the video stops, whatever. Right now, if that happens, I'm just going to cut and edit it because otherwise it's not going to get done. So, third time lucky. Hello Sagittarius and welcome to my channel. My name is Bella and this is your love horoscope for February 2020. I said that 3 times now, so I should be a pro at saying that. If you watch me for the first time, most people know me as Bella the Secret Psychic, and I'm not a tarot reader. I do link in with spirit to help you with some guidance through your month. So what I was saying, and I'll say it again, is how you guys are appearing to be. They're saying whether you want a connection, like a new one or an old one, or whether you're in a connection, there is something about that connection this month that is making you behave differently, making you behave as you wouldn't normally behave in order to keep the connection, gain favor, or to gain something for yourself that my guides are saying be aware of, because is it you? Is it morally you? Is it doing too much? And if that other person, whether they are directly or indirectly, almost like pulling on your energy for you to be more, what does that really say about you and the connection? And is it really, really right for you? That's the first thing they're saying. Now, they're saying this seems to be instigated pretty much either it was in the last week of January or in this first week of February, that there seems to be somebody pulling away. I feel it's more the other person because it would more explain why most of you are trying to be more, or you offer something that seems to come up in the second week. That is the thing that my guides are talking about in terms of, should you be offering that? Should you be offering this change? Should you be doing that? It's almost like, for example, let's say you're seeing somebody or want to be with somebody, but they're with somebody else. And they're like, oh no, I shouldn't because it's not right. And then maybe you're like, I really want this person so much. I believe I could win them over. Sorry about my dogs barking in the background. I tried to talk over it as loud as I can. But basically, you could be going to them saying, it doesn't matter, I'll compromise, we don't have to be in a partnership, I will be the other woman or the other man, and then get a third of what you deserve to get from somebody. That's the sort of thing that my guides are sort of talking about. It could also manifest, because I do see on the flip side that some of you may be doing it because you might feel like you're gaining something from it, even though you might not want the connection. So again, a very loose connection, loose example, sorry, which, and I'm a Sagittarius, like, we don't do these sort of things, but I have to just say it as it is in terms of how my guides are bringing this up. There's an element of you almost like compromising, saying, well, if I just stay with them, then I at least get to keep my house. I at least get to, what's the word I'm looking for? I can, I can keep the finances still going. So you might compromise on things for a gain that isn't, again, not necessarily morally or fibrally what's from you. So you, something pulls at you where you feel like you have to negotiate part of yourself. That means you are getting you're doing something where you get the bad end of the deal. You have to compromise on your circumstances or make sacrifices. And my guides are saying here it's a little bit like making the deal with the devil a little bit, and that it seems like they're asking you to consider in this month, like, when I think about this in terms of it being the retrograde, like, it's never a good time to make contracts. And the fact that you are shown as making this deal in the second week when the retrograde begins feels like it's a little bit of retrograde influence. And I feel what my guides are trying to say is be aware about making contracts with the devil, about how that impacts you as you then get out of the retrograde as we go into next month. It doesn't feel like it bodes very, very well. It feels like you are, because it's a general reading, it feels like you are robbing yourself of something, that you could be actually harming yourself, or you might be feeling like you're holding on to somebody or getting something from them, but actually really are you. The vision I kind of get is like you're trying to catch water in your open fingered hands, And of course, what will happen is the water will just fall through it. You're not catching anything. Your hands just get wet. And, that might feel good for a little bit. You might have a little bit of moisture, but you're not really gaining anything. You can't drink that water. It's not going to nourish you. And that's the overall kind of message that you're getting in this month, which is take a step back, be aware of that energy. Are they worth it? And maybe you need to go through that to see what spirit mean. Maybe you might be fully aware that you're doing that, but it's worth the sacrifice and risk. I think what my guides are trying to tell you, sorry guys, is it's not going to work out. And this is the guidance that you either listen to or you don't. And if you don't, it just then becomes another lesson. And for, like I said, for some of you, it might be worth doing that to prove Bella wrong, if that makes sense. So that's the guidance that you've got this month, guys, is just be careful. And I hope that helps.